Almost everyone has seen these two hands. They have appeared on posters, t-shirts, advertisements, album covers, and countless internet memes. Two fingers reaching toward each other, separated by the smallest possible gap. But the strange thing is, they never actually touch. And once you understand what surrounds those two hands, Michelangelo's creation of Adam becomes much more than a famous religious image. Because hidden inside this seemingly simple scene are questions about life, consciousness, human potential, and perhaps even the anatomy of the human brain. The story begins more than 500 years ago. Around 1508, Pope Julius II commissioned Michelangelo to paint the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel in Vatican City. Michelangelo was already famous, but primarily as a sculptor. He had created works such as David and the Pete. Painting thousands of square feet of ceiling was an entirely different challenge. And Michelangelo reportedly did not initially consider himself a painter. Nevertheless, over roughly 4 years, he covered the chapel's ceiling with hundreds of figures and scenes from the book of Genesis. Among them was an image that would eventually become one of the most recognizable works of art ever created: the creation of Adam. Michelangelo painted it around 1511. The scene comes from Genesis, where God creates the first human. But Michelangelo does something unusual. There is no explosion of divine light, no elaborate landscape, no dramatic miracle filling the sky. Instead, almost everything is reduced to two figures. On the left is Adam. He is already physically complete. His body is powerful and idealized, almost like an ancient Greek or Roman sculpture. But something about him feels unfinished. Look carefully at his posture. Adam is lying on the earth. One leg is stretched out. His torso is relaxed. And most importantly, his hand seems almost too weak to reach any farther. His wrist bends downward. His finger is loose. He does not appear to be actively reaching for God with all his strength. It is as though the body exists, but the spark that will make it truly alive has not yet arrived. Now look at the opposite side. God could not be more different. He is moving through the air surrounded by figures and wrapped inside a large flowing mantle. His body is tense. His arm is extended. His index finger points directly toward Adam. Adam looks passive. God looks full of energy. And between them is that famous gap. Just a tiny distance separates their fingers. Michelangelo could easily have painted them touching. But he didn't. And that decision transformed the entire scene. The painting captures not the moment after creation, but perhaps the final fraction of a second before it. The viewer knows what is about to happen. That tiny empty space becomes filled with anticipation. It is almost as if we can imagine an invisible spark jumping across it. But there is another fascinating detail. Look at Adam's body and then look at God. Their poses seem to echo each other. Adam is traditionally understood to have been created in the image of God, and Michelangelo visually reinforces that idea. The human body is not shown as something insignificant. Adam is monumental, beautiful, almost divine in his physical perfection. Yet there is still a crucial difference. Adam has the form. God has the energy. And creation seems to happen in the space between them. Now look at the figures surrounding God. One of them has attracted particular attention for centuries. Under God's left arm is a female figure. God's arm appears to wrap protectively around her. Who is she? Michelangelo never gave us a definitive explanation. One popular interpretation identifies her as Eve. According to Genesis, Eve has not yet been created at this point in the story. If this interpretation is correct, Michelangelo may be showing her already existing in God's plan, waiting for the moment when she will enter the human story. But there is another mystery in this part of the fresco, and it has generated one of the most famous theories about the creation of Adam. Forget the individual figures for a moment. Instead, look at the entire shape surrounding God. The flowing reddish mantle. The bodies packed inside it. The folds and contours around them. In 1990, physician Frank Lynn Meshberger published an observation that became famous. The shape surrounding God resembles a cross-section of the human brain. And the similarities can appear surprisingly specific. Certain folds have been compared to different anatomical structures. Even the green fabric hanging below has been interpreted as corresponding to part of the vascular or neural anatomy. So was Michelangelo secretly painting a human brain around God? We don't know. And that distinction is important. There is no surviving statement from Michelangelo saying, "Yes, I hid a brain inside this fresco." So the idea should be treated as a fascinating interpretation, not an established fact. But there is a reason people take the theory seriously. Michelangelo knew human anatomy extraordinarily well. As a young artist, he studied dissected human bodies. For a Renaissance artist, understanding what existed beneath the skin was enormously valuable. Muscles, bones, tendons, the structure of the body. You can see that knowledge everywhere in his art. His figures don't simply look like bodies. They feel constructed from an understanding of what is underneath them. And that makes the possible brain shape especially intriguing. Because if it was intentional, the meaning could be extraordinary. Perhaps God is not simply giving Adam biological life. Perhaps he is giving humanity something else. Intelligence, consciousness, imagination, the ability to think. The very qualities that allow humans to create art, study nature, question existence, and even attempt to understand God. There is an almost poetic possibility here. Michelangelo used his own knowledge of the human body to paint the moment in which humanity receives the mind capable of gaining that knowledge. But even without the hidden brain theory, the fresco already says something remarkable about being human. Return once more to the hands. God's finger is fully extended. Adam's is not. That difference has inspired countless interpretations. One possible reading is that the divine gift is being offered, but humanity must still reach toward it. Michelangelo leaves the final connection unresolved forever. 500 years later, the fingers are still separated. The spark is always about to happen. Creation is always one instant away. And perhaps that is why this image survived far beyond its original religious setting. You don't need to know every detail of Genesis to understand two hands reaching toward one another. The image can represent creation, connection, knowledge, potential, the distance between what we are and what we could become. And there is something beautiful about the fact that Michelangelo placed so much meaning inside empty space. The most famous part of the painting is not Adam. It is not God. It isn't even one of the figures surrounding them. It is the tiny piece of nothing between two fingertips. Because sometimes what has not happened yet is more powerful than what already has. Michelangelo painted humanity at the threshold of becoming alive. A body waiting for its spark. A hand that could reach just a little farther. And whether or not there really is a hidden brain behind God, the painting leaves us with an idea that feels surprisingly modern. Being human is not only about being alive. It is about what we do with the consciousness, creativity, and potential we have been given. Maybe that is the real lesson hidden between those two fingers. Life may give us the possibility, but there will always be a small distance between possibility and reality. And sometimes, we are the ones who have to reach across it.